Welcome back, Wildcat Nation, to episode 5 of season 6 here on Wildcat Week. I'm Abby Harvey with Isaac Wolf, and today we're spotlighting the number 15 nationally ranked women's cross country team. Today we're joined by junior Elizabeth Barrett and sophomore Cadence Traylor.
The team recently finished 5th at their meet in Missouri, which featured over 25 different schools. Barrett and Traylor were the top 2 finishers for the Wildcats in the event, with Barrett finishing 23rd overall individually and Traylor finishing 51st overall individually.
Before we get started, here's your Crossroads League Week in Review.
I'm Isaac Wolf with your Crossroads League Week in Review. We start in volleyball, where Indiana Wesleyan head coach Candace Moach reached her 1,000th career victory on Wednesday against Goshen. The mark comes in Moach's 41st season as a head coach, the last 23 of those being at IWU. She added 3 more wins to that total this weekend at Indiana Tech, where the Wildcats went 3-0, including a 5-set win against Cornerstone on Friday and 2 sweeps of Indiana Tech and Rio Grande on Saturday. In Friday's win over Cornerstone, setter Abby Porter tallied 63 assists, the most in a single game by a Wildcat since 2019. Martina DeMarchi had 23 kills for the Wildcats, while Ava Joldersma had 20. The Wildcats are now 19-2, heading into a top 15 matchup at Grace on Wednesday. The number 14 Lancers swept number 22 Marion on Wednesday and also competed at the Indiana Tech Invitational, going 1-2 this weekend. They defeated Lindsey Wilson in 5 sets on Friday and lost both games to Cornerstone and Indiana Tech on Saturday. Number 16 Mount Vernon sits at 20-2 after a 3-1 victory against St. Francis on Wednesday. Lissy Snoffer led the Cougars with 15 kills. Jalen Tang added 18 digs in the winning effort. Their next offer comes at home against Bethel on Wednesday after a full week of rest. Number 22 Marion was swept by Grace on Wednesday and will also have a full week's worth of rest for their matchup against Spring Arbor this Wednesday at 7. In football, number 3 Indiana Wesleyan took care of number 20 St. Xavier 39-7. Kyle Antoine took back the recently broken program record for passing yards in a single game set by Arjun Loth in Week 4's win over Olivet Nazarene. Antoine threw for 395 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Wildcats set a new season high in sacks with 7, Robbie Hunter leading that charge with 2 of his own. The Wildcats now prepare for a top 10 showdown with number 10 Marion, who is coming off a bye week. That game kicks off at 1:05 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. In men's soccer, number 5 Indiana Wesleyan is no longer undefeated after Grace upset them 4-3 in the final minutes of a dramatic game. A red card on the Indiana Wesleyan side put the Wildcats at a disadvantage for the majority of the game, playing 11-on-10. The Lancers scored the winning goal in the 88th minute, Kyle Halwerda's second goal of the game. The Wildcats bounced back with a 5-0 win over Goshen on Saturday for senior night, and they now prepare for number 3 Bethel this upcoming Saturday. The Pilots lost to Mount Vernon 2-1 on Wednesday and shut out St. Francis 4-0 on Saturday. Manuel Garcia scored 3 of the team's 4 goals in the win. Both teams will have a week of rest and should be at their best for Saturday's top 5 matchup, which kicks off at the IWU Soccer Field at 6:30 p.m. In women's soccer, number 8 Spring Arbor won both of their games this week 7-1, Wednesday at Goshen and Saturday at home against Huntington. Lauren Marshall scored 3 goals across the 2 games for the Cougars, who have a week off before their next matchup against number 10 Marion. The Knights are coming off a 1-1 week, falling on the road to Taylor 1-0, then shutting out Grace 2-0. Katie Koger and Naomi Walters scored the goals for the Knights in the win, and both were assisted by Layla Brown. They also get this Wednesday off to prepare for the top 10 matchup at Spring Arbor in a game that kicks off at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Number 17 Indiana Wesleyan is 8-2-2 after a 2-0 week against Grace and Goshen. Both games were close and low scoring, with a combined week score of 3-0. Goals were scored by Mackenzie Minnie, Jackie Norris, and Anna Pettit. The Wildcats will now prepare for Bethel this upcoming Saturday. In men's tennis, Grace won their 3rd straight conference tournament title. The Lancers defeated Huntington 4-1 on Saturday. They are 33-0 in conference play over the last 3 seasons. And in women's tennis, undefeated Bethel took down number 19 Marion 4-3 to win their first ever Crossroads League Tournament championship. The win by the Pilots ended Indiana Wesleyan's historic 33-year conference champion streak. Kenzie Abdullah's singles match at the end sealed the win for the Pilots. As for this week's Crossroads League awards, the volleyball attacker and defender of the week is Lissy Snoffer of Mount Vernon. Snoffer posted 15 kills and 40 swings and added 2 aces, 17 digs, and 2 blocks for number 16 Mount Vernon in its 4-set win over St. Francis. The volleyball setter of the week is Abby Porter of Indiana Wesleyan. Porter continued her strong campaign with 11.6 assists per set in a trio of wins for number 9 Indiana Wesleyan. Porter set a new career high with 63 assists in a 5-set win over Cornerstone and finished the week with 128 assists. The women's soccer offensive player of the week is Reagan Ramirez of Spring Arbor. Ramirez had 2 goals, 2 assists, and 6 points in 2 lopsided wins for Spring Arbor this week. The senior midfielder had 2 assists in the 7-1 win over Goshen and then scored twice in the 7-1 win against Huntington. The women's soccer defensive player of the week is Brianna Rawlings of Taylor. Rawlings made 8 saves in a 1-0 shutout victory for Taylor over number 10 Marion and finished the week with 2 wins in goal, 11 saves, and just 1 goal allowed in 180 minutes of work. The men's soccer offensive player of the week is Manuel Garcia of Bethel. Garcia netted 3 goals in the first half of number 3 Bethel's 4-0 win over St. Francis. Garcia scored on all 3 shot attempts he took for the Pilots. The men's soccer defensive player of the week is Jack Christini of Spring Arbor. Christini helped Spring Arbor to a pair of wins, allowing just 1 goal in 180 minutes of action and picking up 9 saves for the Cougars. The women's cross-country runner of the week is Katie Woods of Marion. Woods led Marion to a 5th-place team finish by taking 25th of 231 finishers at the Masters Invite. Woods crossed with a time of 22 minutes and 54 seconds to pace the Knights. The men's cross-country runner of the week is Tristan Trevino of Marion. Trevino ran a personal best time of 24 minutes and 53 seconds for Marion at the Masters Invite, finishing 15th overall out of 234 competitors. The women's tennis player of the week is Kenzie Abdullah of Bethel. Abdullah led Bethel to its first ever Crossroads League Tournament championship by going a combined 5-0 in 3 postseason matches for the Pilots. Abdullah's 7-4, 4-6, 6-4 win at number 4 singles in the title match was the clinching point for Bethel's championship. And the men's tennis player of the week is Pablo Gregori of Grace. Gregori led number 20 Grace to a 3rd straight Crossroads League Tournament championship by going a combined 5-0 at number 1 singles and number 1 doubles for the Lancers in postseason matches. That's all for this week with your Crossroads League Week in Review. I'm Isaac Wolf.
So you guys came in at 15 in the recent rankings. What does that mean for the team morale?
Is there a certain standard you guys hold to, or are you not numbers specific with that kind of stuff? You don't pay attention to it?
I think that's kind of why it's hard to answer that question, because like we're not really too focused on the rankings. For us, we've always been told like the rankings don't really mean a lot, especially kind of early on in the season. A lot changes just with how the meets go, how people are doing. But yeah, we'd really try not to focus too much on those, just because we know that there's so much more than that, like to our team culture. So there's that aspect. But it definitely like it is good in some ways just to have like checkpoints to like see where we're at. But again, it's always changing. So yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue we were even ranked 15th because we really like don't pay attention to it at all. But I think it just throughout the season it changes so much. Like next week we could be at a completely different number just because we could have a really bad day or someone else could have a really bad day, and it changes so much. So
I know some teams are like super honed in on the rankings, but like even last week soccer was like they put a lot onto their ranking, and softball the same way. We don't really think about it too much. But your guys' meet you guys had where you guys led the team, how was that just as individuals? How did that make you guys feel basically?
I think it was a very good day for everyone overall, and that's our nationals course this year, so it was a really great opportunity to run there. Last year we didn't get to run at our nationals course before the meet, so it was a really good opportunity, and it's a super fast course, so I think everyone individually was very happy, and I know we were very happy as well. We got to race against some pretty big teams and big schools, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. It was just a fun meet overall, and there was good competition, and I think having one meet under our belt kind of helped just like, okay, this is how we do things, and just kind of getting that back into things. So yeah, it was good.
So is that the only meet you guys have had so far, or what else?
We had Twilight, which was, we hosted that, and that was at the beginning of September.
Okay. And how did that go?
It was okay. Yeah, it was a little tough. I think we're all like, there's just a lot going on with the team. Just injuries, just transitioning to new coaching, training, and so there's a lot to navigate with that. So, and just coming off of summer training too, there's just a lot that happens over that time. So, just trying to get back into the swing of things with school is difficult. But yeah, I think too, it was just, we typically don't put a lot of pressure on Twilight just because it's a fun meet and it's our only home meet. So
So you guys mentioned the new coaching with the training. I'm always like intrigued because I always am out like driving and see people running literally all the time. So what is like the training schedule?
So, like Elizabeth and I, we run like 65 miles a week-ish, around there. And then, that's like the highest it goes.
Yeah.
So then other people, depending on, some people do way better with lower mileage, and then some people benefit from higher mileage. And we run every day, sometimes 2 times a day.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot different than it was last year. We're experiencing a lot more intensity compared to last year. We were more like higher mileage, lower intensity. Now we're higher mileage, higher intensity. So it's been a big adjustment, but we definitely saw that, I think, in our twilight meet, just like adjusting to that. But last week in Missouri was a great confidence booster for everyone, just to see like the hard work that we've been putting in and how much it's paying off.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's definitely, we've always been like a high mileage program, so that adjustment really hasn't been too hard. But yeah, the intensity has been different, just with different coaching philosophies. But like Cadence said, like it's definitely paying off, and it's been just a confidence boost for everyone, which is so exciting. Yeah.
So how'd you guys get into cross country? Because everyone always says your sport is another sport's punishment. So where do you find the enjoyment in it, and how did you get started with it, and how did it take you all the way to college?
Yeah. For me, I started running in middle school. I just kind of picked it up. I don't know. My mom started running a lot when I was younger, so I just kind of thought that was fun. But then I kind of forgot about it for a while and did softball and did other sports. But then my 5th grade teacher was the track and cross country coach, and she came up to me one day and was like, "Elizabeth, I think you would really like running." And I was like, "I think I'm okay. I think I'll just stick to other things. I've tried it. It was all good." But she kept pushing me and was like, "I really think you should give this a shot." So I did, and I met a lot of my friends through that, and I think that's what really helped me just enjoy it more. And I discovered long distance running, which I think was good because sprinting I just could not do. I just could not do very well with that. So, and I just found the love of long distance running, which was great. But yeah, that's kind of how that started.
Mine's kind of the same deal. I started running when I was like in elementary school and then into middle school, and then I never ran cross country until my sophomore year of high school. I stopped for a while because I played volleyball, and then I like started to realize that I was only doing well at running in the sports I was playing, so I realized I should probably just run as a sport. And then I just started to like it more and more and realized I wanted to do it in college, and just found so much joy in it.
So explain the recruiting process for cross country. I know it's different for literally every sport.
Yeah.
I know for me, like, I didn't really decide I wanted to run cross country in college until a little later, so it wasn't as much of a recruiting process for me. But it's so like, it's just your times. Like, it's no one has to come like watch you play or whatever. It's just like very straightforward. So that's kind of like, I mean, there's just websites online that show you like how you could be recruited for different schools and like their time, their standards for their programs. So then you just start talking to different coaches. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty much the same. It's kind of, I feel like we don't really get too involved in the recruiting process. Like, we'll just be told, like, you know, there's someone so-and-so coming to visit for like a weekend, and they'll just come to practice with us and just like see how things work and our philosophy, and we just tell them about all that. So, yeah.
So what led you here?
My dad played basketball at Taylor, and my mom played softball at Marion, so I was kind of familiar with the Crossroads League. And I knew I wanted to go to a small Christian school, be a part of a team and a community that was with like-minded individuals. And when I came on a visit here and met with actually our old coach, Sarah, she's gone now, but I just connected with her and the people on the team and realized this is the place I was supposed to be.
It's like a divided house.
Yeah.
All the rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found out about IWU through just friends in high school that came to IWU. Also, just friends on my team that also came to IWU the same year. So, yeah, I just came on a visit, not really thinking much of it. I actually went on a different college visit the day before, and it was terrible. Like, it just did not go well. So it's kind of like an answered prayer for me, just kind of in the direction of where I should go. So, yeah, and I went on a visit here, also talked with our old coach, Sarah, and she talked to us a lot about our running free motto that we live by. And I was so like intrigued by that. Just not really sure what that meant at the time. And I think that's kind of what drew me closer. And yeah, I think learning more about that was kind of that, okay, I really want to go here. Also, just outside of athletics, I really enjoyed learning about the teacher ed program here. So, yeah, that was also a big component.
So as individuals on the cross team, what have you guys seen as your like biggest growth moment? I know it's hard to put in like a box, but
Honestly, I feel like this year especially, it's just a big growth moment, like just compiled into one, because I think a lot of us, just from what I've heard, just from all the conversations from people that have been on the team last year and years prior, that we don't like change, and change is hard, but embracing that is, I think, where all our growth has come from. So not just like in times or running, but like just in our faith journey too, and just like learning to rely on each other more, spiritually, academically. I think that's just where our growth comes. So yeah, I think that's where that is for now.
I can't think of like a personal moment of growth or like something specific, but just like this last meet in Missouri, it was just like a super cool experience because a lot of people got a personal best, and just like to see everyone like with so much joy afterwards, it was just like a moment of like everyone was experienced growth and like hard work. And like when we found out we were going to have a new coach, our track coach told us like every plan is going to work as long as you trust it. Mm-hmm. And I think it was so hard to adjust to the change that we did in the summer and just the summer training, but seeing everyone do better, it's just like realizing that we trusted it and it's paying off.
You kind of touched on the spiritual aspect. What kinds of things do you guys do as a team for that?
Yeah. Kind of going back to like our motto of running free. It's just something we live by. And what we mean by that is just running free from comparison, running free from, pride, running for the wrong reasons. Just remembering why we're here, why we're running, and just giving all the glory back to God is what we really strive for. And it's never perfect. Like there's definitely times personally where I definitely look back on all the years of running where I'm like, man, like I definitely was not running for God. But I'm just so grateful for our team because we just emphasize that not just on meet day, but on practice and just when we're eating at dinner at Baldwin and just in our everyday lives. And I think we do that through just praying at practice, praying before meets, praying for each other. We have small group, and we just really emphasize that. And yeah, just encouraging each other in that. I think our team, if you can't tell, we're just a very encouraging group of people, which is so great for our sport. And yeah, I think without that, I don't think we would learn how to authentically worship Christ, which is such a blessing. I'm just so grateful. So yeah.
Just like our biggest thing is run free. That's really what we like revolve our entire team and our team culture around. And I think it's just so important. And I think we have learned to do it very well and like learned the right ways to do it and to go about it. That's, Elizabeth explained it pretty well.
What has been your guys' favorite memory, like in your years, your 3 years and your 2 years?
I really enjoyed going to nationals last year. We got to go to Washington and stay there the whole week. It was a lot of fun, and just to compete against the best people in the NAI. It was just a lot of fun, and we all enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oof, I don't know. That was a good week. Traveling is just fun. Honestly, yeah, just any travel meet, like, it's just such a like good time to just grow closer to everyone, especially like in cross, because it's the beginning of the year, trying to learn like all the new freshmen and like just the team this year. So yeah, I don't know, I can't really pick, but that's probably a top one.
You mentioned the freshmen. What has that class had an impact on the team so far?
So I think there's 4 of them. There's only 4 this year. They're actually, I think all of them have suffered from an injury already, or just like
Sounds like a softball team.
yeah, you know how it goes. But they're a really strong group, and well, obviously we haven't seen that personally, but like just looking at their times from high school and watching what they've done in practice so far, they're a super strong group. Yeah, they've all suffered from an injury, so some of them are coming back currently, and then some of them are kind of just in that little moment of being down, so we haven't really got to see much of them yet, but I think they'll be very good here in the next few years.
Yeah, I think it's also different because your Cadence's classes, we had 9. So it went from super big to super small, which was kind of a change because for my class, we were like, wow, like there's so many freshmen to get to know. Like it's great, but it's also like, wow, there's a lot of people to get to know. Now it's like there's only 4 of them. So I feel like we've been able to get to know them really well, quicker than, unfortunately, class, just because it just took time. But yeah, like Cadence said, there's just been a lot of injuries, a lot of just fluke things. And yeah, but they've all had such a positive attitude about it, which is so, so great, especially like coming in your first year, like you just have a lot to adjust to in general. So yeah, they're great.
So do you guys both run track too?
Yeah, everyone on our cross-country team does.
Oh, wow. So you guys are running literally all year.
Yeah.
What events do you guys do in track?
I do the 5K.
5K, indoor.
Yeah, I forgot about indoor.
I know, I did. There's 3K, 5K. That's about it.
You guys literally are in season like all year.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It doesn't really feel like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, like, after cross ends, we have, like, just time off where we're just running on our own.
Until we come back from Christmas break.
Yeah,
and then indoor season starts.
Yeah. Track feels a lot longer than
Yeah.
Is it, like, different coaches for all 3 or kind of the same people?
Our head track coach is different, but Coach Byler is still, like, our distance coach. So we're with him all year.
Yeah.
This also might be a dumb question, but when you guys are running cross country, like, is the distance the same every single meet?
Yes.
And what is
a
it?
6K.
6K.
So it's like 3.8 miles. Somewhere in there. 3.8. I don't know how many.
Like that.
And
3.7
every single meet
something.
is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, they actually just, last year was the switch to 6Ks. It used to be 5Ks. So then last year we did 4 6Ks, 2 5Ks. This year we have 1 5K.
Yep.
And the rest are 6Ks. So nationals will be a 6K. but
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot of running.
it's
I run a 5K in the summer for fun, like 30 minutes. So
That's good.
I try.
Can you tell a difference between 5 and 6? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
I bet that's a hard adjustment, especially if you've been running 5Ks like
Yeah.
forever.
For the boys,
Yeah.
it's much worse because
Yeah,
they go
they-
from in high school running a 5K to running an 8K in college.
Oh, wow.
So we are thankful we don't have to
Yeah.
do that. But
Yeah.
it definitely is a difference to adjust to 6K, but it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like last year was way worse. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
okay, we should be done. Like, this is too much. But I feel like this year it was the first meet. I was like, oh, I forgot how this felt. But yeah, I'm grateful we don't have to do 8K.
Yeah.
Are you guys like close with the guys' team? I don't know how that
Yeah,
dynamic is.
We're very
Yeah.
close. I think it kind of like stems from us having the same coach. So it's like we do everything together. But it's definitely a gift that we
Yeah.
have, like to be close to them and to just like we all eat dinner together and lunch together and do everything together. So
Yeah,
it's a good environment.
yeah.
So does Colton, is he your guys' GA too?
Yes, he is.
He's dating my GA.
Oh,
yes.
Becca.
Yeah.
We love Becca.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Well, thank you guys for joining us. That's all we have for you guys. And thank you, Wildcat Nation, for tuning in to episode 6 with the women's cross country team. We have Elizabeth Barrett and Cadence Traylor. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 6 of season 6, where we will do the men's cross country team. I'm Abby Harvey with Isaac Wolf here on Wildcat Week, presented by Amplify Media.